found in our research what we call critical conversations. These are the conversations that were not happening in the home that showed up in poor performance, poor experiences of players in clubs. And the first conversation was purpose. Why? Do you really know why your son or daughter is playing this sport? And if they're younger and you're just encouraging them to try it, that is awesome too. Because you got to figure it out. My 10-year-old, my 11-year-old doing the same thing. I've got him in something now that he's struggling with, but he's learning about himself out of that. So it's a win. Critical conversation number one, on your way home, tonight, over the weekend. Find out why they're playing the sport. And if their response is, well, it's because it's fun, that's not good enough. You got to go deeper. Well, what's fun about it? I love being with my friends. Well, what do you love about being with your friends and playing soccer when you can go be playing softball? Women, figure out what their why is. Because if you all don't have more invested ownership in your sport than your parents do for you, and by invested, I don't mean just the money it costs to play in the club, the investment there, but I'm talking about being all in your behavior, your attitude, your desire. Some people call it willpower. I don't like that. We call it want power. If your want power for your sport is not greater than your parents, something's wrong. That's critical conversation number one. Here's critical conversation number two. Values. This was interesting. And by values, for all the players in here, you might have heard that word a lot. The word core values is kind of a cliche, unfortunately, now. It's all, your parents probably hear it in the workplace all the time. It tends to be words on walls, but people don't actually talk about it or live it or do it. They just have to satisfy that it's up on a wall or up on a website. But a core value is simply a word that represents something that's meaningful to you, and that is a no matter what for you. So if you chose honesty as a core value, then that would mean no matter what, in any situation, I'm always going to be what? Honest. If you choose hard work, no matter what, even when it's hard, even when the team is down 3-0, and I'm in the back, and I'm never touching the ball anyway, I'm not going to give up because my value driver is I'm always going to work what? Hard. Got it? So that's what we mean by core value. But 72% of our families, we're talking about more than 10,000 best clubs in America, and I sat down with their parents and actually said, these are the core values that drive our family. These are our no matter what. These are the things that our tolerance level is really low, not high. But we form them together. Let's talk about it. Let's write it down. That's a critical conversation. Because, Dad, if your 2 or 3 values are different, there's just an assumption from your wife and your spouse. And then your kid doesn't ever even hear the words. So some of you might have said, hey, we talked about that. And I said, well, when was the last time you talked about that? We did it when he was 8. How old is he now? He's 16. They got to hear, your son or daughter got to hear those words every single day, if not at least once a week. Because otherwise they don't know what that looks like. And let me tell you right now, players, if you have hard work, this is really more for the older teenagers in here. If hard work is one of your core values, I'm going to come back and say that way too many players hide behind hard work. Well, I worked hard. I didn't get the result, but I worked hard, and that becomes an excuse. Hard work is not that much of a difference maker for the best of the best. Because everybody's working hard. Ready? Critical conversation number 2. Values. Here's the last one for now. Critical is compete. Competition. What does it mean to compete? Now, I'm going to kind of be a generalist here. I'm going to sound like Mom and Dad. I'm from the 60s and 70s, but you're going to get my idea. Right? We don't have this conversation. Your son or daughter, as a teenager, is already trying to figure out 2 things. How do I fit in? What do I do? I got to dress just enough to feel like I fit in to be accepted, because my brain, our brain, your brain is adult. It's a social organ. How do I fit in? And number 2 is, how can I be different just enough to raise my social value? And so they're trying to appease. Your son or daughter is trying to make sure that in their actions and choices, in this case on the soccer field, that they want to appease and please what the coach is asking and their definition of competition. Dad, what yours is, and mom, what yours is. But here's the problem. Typically, now this is general. Mom's definition most of the time, especially for younger athletes, is just have fun, play hard, and don't get what? Hurt. Dad's definition typically, and if we're honest, your dad, be honest, has just got to check your hand card and keep it. Dad's definition of competition is, I feel better about myself if you're the MVP. Compete is, you're the shining star. Compete is, my kid is the one is the reason why this team is successful. You might believe something completely different. God knows I believe something different. But my 13-year-old, when he was 11, he came up to me and he told me what he thought competition meant on how I defined it, and it just knocked me out. I try to drink my own Kool-Aid when I'm telling you that. And then coach's definition of compete typically is work hard, just do your what? Do your best. And when you get a little bit older, you get to 15, 16, 17, 18, you become, just do your job. Just do it. That's what compete is. So take a message for these conversations. I got one or two more slides and we'll wrap up the evening. Have the conversations. Conversations are where connection happens, and that's where relationships happen. And that's where you build happy, healthy homes. And if that happens, then you're building athletes also on the field. Couple more.